a small American town, 15 years ago. Michael? Halloween.
I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil. I think he'll come back.
Exploring uncharted territory.
Totally charted.
Just talk.
Sure.
The only reason she babysits to have
Halloween.
Come on out. Halloween, the night he came home.
And a good morning, everybody. Welcome to 31 Days of Monsters, day 24. And so we usher in the modern era of horror films with John Carpenter's Halloween. This 1978 film really changed the paradigm for horror films and ushered in the whole slasher genre, so to speak. Only none of them did it quite as good as this one, because this one was more about suspense and tension and less about gore. This is a low budget film. It cost $300,000 to make this movie. They shot it in 20 days and they made $47 million. Can you believe that? I think this was the highest grossing independent film ever until Blair Witch Project came along. So that's a pretty good return on investment there. It was originally called The Babysitter Murders, and it was going to, the original script was going to take place over a period of a few days, but Carpenter reworked it to have it all in one night for the simple reason it was going to be cheaper to film because they could use the same location, same type of lighting, easier on continuity. So it was probably a smart decision. And he chose the one night that would be the scariest night of the year, which of course would be Halloween. There's a sequence which I watched this movie yesterday, and when we're in Laurie Strode's, which is Jamie Lee Curtis's character, in her bedroom, she's got a poster on the wall, and it says James Ensor, and it's very clearly front and center there. And I wondered who's James Ensor and why is he so prominent? And James Ensor was a Belgian expressionist painter, and he was known for his portrayal of human figures wearing grotesque masks. So we were doing a little foreshadowing, I think, of who Michael Myers was by having that in her room. I love stuff like that. Here we see Michael Myers, the Shape, as he was called. I love this shot where he steps out like that in broad daylight with that crazy mask. Funny thing is, this is supposed to be Haddonfield, Illinois. Of course, it's not. It's California, and it's Halloween, obviously, end of October. And anybody in the Northeast knows that by Halloween, there's no deciduous leaves on the trees anymore. In fact, there is no deciduous leaves here at all. They had to buy craft like leaves for like that craft people use and paint them various colors, and they would throw them out and spread the lawns with them, then rake them back up and move them to different sets and places as needed, so they could kind of show that it was fall. And they did a really good job. I mean, here's some colored leaves here in California, and you see the fake leaves here that are being tossed around. But if you look closely, growing up in Florida, I know what a palm tree looks like, and that's a palm tree right there. In fact, you can see the fronds hanging off on the sides here, and I'm pretty sure there's no palm fronds in Haddonfield, Illinois. Here's a close-up of the masks that they used. They had two choices. The team put together two masks. One was a Emmett Kelly clown mask, and they thought that would tie into the mask that Michael wore when he killed his sister as a young boy. But they felt it was really, really disturbing looking. So the other mask that they tested was they took a Captain Kirk mask, a 1975 Captain Kirk mask, took the eyebrows off, cut the eye holes larger, and then singed the hair on it, and then painted the mask like what they described as a fish belly blue, and this is what they came up with. This is Captain Kirk's face right here, if you think about it, and you can see it right here. The key is the lips and the nose. That's something. It cost $1. They created this iconic mask, and it cost them $1. Now that's guerrilla filmmaking right there. Another really cool shot of Michael on the stairs there looking down. That is one big ass steak knife, I'll tell you that. There's a couple scenes where Laurie was holding it, and I'm like, what the heck do you cut with that thing? It's huge. So, if you guys have not seen this movie, you should check it out. It's historical. It still holds up. John Carpenter wrote the music for it, which is fantastic. It's got this interesting beat and sound to it, and it's creepy. The cast is good. PJ Souls is a riot, totally. Everything is so totally. She's really great in it. Nick Castle, who plays the Shape, is great. He really sells this creature. So check this one out. I think my favorite John Carpenter movies is The Fog, the one I did earlier in the show, and of course this one. I prefer The Fog actually, but I love this too. So let's say good morning to everybody and see who's here, who's awake on Saturday morning. Now it looks like we got a lot of our regulars here. Hyper Kaiju is here. Good morning. Otis Rose. Good morning. Rob Fellows. Monster fan. Greetings, everybody. Comfy, rainy day in Northeast Ohio. Good for a monster film or two. Yeah, same here in Western New York. Yesterday it was 80. I was stacking firewood yesterday. It was 85 degrees. I couldn't believe it. Now today it's 40 and rainy. So I got some drawing I got to do today, and I'm going to put some monster movies on while I do it. Rob says it's raining in London too. Isn't it always raining in London? That's the read on that place. Dennis Shoemate, Oh, sure. Chime in from Florida, Janice, where it's probably nice and sunny and warm. Matt Cisco with the greatest avatar of them all. Good morning, Matt. Rob says, let's see how things shape up with this one. Good morning, Statistical Zero. Glad you could make it. We have Scott Clark in the house. James Murphy. Cool Cotton. Simonon 7. And there's my easy 6 degrees of Star Trek because of the William Shatner mask. The Captain Kirk mask, actually. Earthmind, good morning. What are your thoughts on this movie, guys? Everybody in the room here? That is the coolest late 70s horror film. It really is. It horrified James Allen. Good morning, Steve Lowe. Let's see. Smash like. Yes. Yes, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel. I must have pissed somebody off the other day because I was at 906 subscriptions, and I go back and I'm like at 899. So 6 people bailed on me. So I'm climbing back up the hill now to get to 1,000. So please like it and subscribe to it. Again, it's free. You know, you don't even have to watch the show. Just subscribe to it. You know, I got to get my numbers up. Good morning, William. Cisco Wizco, morning, Monster Freaks. Good to see you, Cisco. Robert says it's too early to be up so upbeat. Well, I've been up since 5:30, so I've had time to jazz it up and get a couple cups of coffee in. Dennis says Carpenter did a lot of those hidden gems in his films. I love the scene with Dr. Loomis on the street and not turning to see Michael, just around, driving casually almost. Yeah, well, my favorite scene is when Laurie backs up against, looks like a broom closet or something, or maybe it's a hallway, I can't remember. And it's completely dark, and they frame it, you know, she's on the one side, and then there's the dark area over here. And all of a sudden, there's like the camera guy used a dim switch, and he turned it up slowly, and it started to illuminate Michael's face behind her. To me, when I first saw that, that was the most terrifying scene in that movie. Everything's filmed in LA because it's cheaper. Well, I wouldn't say it might be cheaper for them because they were there, but it would be cheaper to film just about any place outside of California. Watched this again last week. She never learned to keep the knife. Kept dropping it after she would stab him. Yeah. Also love The Thing playing on a TV scene. Yeah, I remember when I first watched Halloween, I had not yet seen The Thing from Another World. And I was fascinated by them watching it on Halloween in the movie Halloween. And eventually I got to see it. And as you guys will find out, actually on Halloween, that's my all-time favorite movie, because we will be doing The Thing from Another World. Saving my favorites for last. I think people are disappointed when I point out Alien is Halloween in space. I suppose it's really the terror from beyond space in space. There's even scene swipes. If you haven't seen the Terror from Beyond Space show that I did, check that one out, Jay. Otis says, although I enjoy the classic monster flicks, I grew up during the slasher movie area. I'm enjoying the fun facts about this movie. Well, thank you. I just like good monster movies, whether they're new, old, or somewhere in the middle. You know, it all depends on how they hold up, how they're told, the sincerity of the narrative, and the characters that are in it. You know, like I said before, I'll believe it if they believe it, no matter how outrageous the idea is. You have to believe the characters believe it. Saw this as a kid. So much of the gore was left to your imagination. So much so, I saw it again a few years ago after not seeing it for decades and realized it wasn't as gory as I remembered. Yeah, it's not gory at all. In fact, that sequence I just talked about where the shape gets lit up in that little closet area, and Laurie walks forward, and he takes his knife and he slashes her arm and stuff. Well, she's just got like a little scratch as if she was holding a cat, and on her arm. There's no like big gash or anything like that. I think the most graphic scene might be where the shape impales PJ Soul's boyfriend against the wall and does that, that cockeyed look at him, and you see him hanging there with the knife in him. Violent, yes. Gory? I don't think so. The Thing is my all-time favorite. Nothing beats that setting and cast with a fun mystery. You mean John Carpenter's Thing, or do you mean the Howard Hawks Thing from Another World? James asks if I'll be doing Big Trouble in Little China. I will not. Not a big fan of that movie. No spoilers, but has this movie, in the way that they portray Michael and his stalking, influenced the Chenoo at all? No, not consciously. I don't think so. There's a lot of influences in the Chenoo. Certainly The Thing from Another World, because in that one, obviously the setting, it's a cold, desolate, claustrophobic setting, and you've got something that's trying to kill you. But like The Thing from Another World, I tried to make the characters in the Chenoo relatable and likable, so that anybody that ends up getting it, the reader will feel something for that character. Graham is to Chuck as Robin is to Batman. Okay. Well, Chuck will be on the show. I think it's the 26th. We'll be talking about his favorite monster movie, Tremors. That'll be a fun show. Hey, Graham, do you think Michael Myers will stand a chance against the Chenoo? I don't think so. I think old Mike would be fodder for the Chenoo. He'd eat him. The Chenoo feels Carpenter inspired. It always makes me think of The Thing. Could be the snow. It probably is the snow. James Allen, editorial here. PJ Souls is still hot. I haven't seen her in anything in years. Scariest movie I ever saw was Event Horizon, best space horror. Yeah, that was a freaky movie. I haven't seen that one in a long time either. That's a great line. What if this thing can read our mind? Well, he's going to be pretty angry when he gets to me. Who Cotton wants to know what map is on my Compass Comics logo. That's a map of the Caribbean. Because I like warm water and tropical settings. Oh, and there it is. Yep. If anything, Chuck is Robin and Graham is Batman. Well, Chuck is taller. He's a beast. So Earthmind was referring to Carpenter's. Yeah, I'll be talking about the Carpenter version and comparing and contrasting it when I do the thing for another world. Texas Chainsaw was like that. Lots of gore implied, not seen. I saw Texas Chainsaw in the movie theater, and God, that freaked me out. I felt like I needed a shower when I got out of that movie. It was really, really freaky. I don't know that I've seen it since. Carpenter version is a bit more faithful to the source material. Yeah. It's certainly all the character names are there, but the likability factor isn't there. Again, in Campbell's book, forget it. I'm going to save all of that for when I do when I do the thing. I'm saving it. Chuck is Batman, Graham is Bane. I will break you. Any particular reason why I chose that map? Well, I think I covered that. Okay. You guys got anything else you want to say, or any questions? Let me just scoot back here, because sometimes people pop up in the backside of the comment sections after I've scrolled by. I miss it. Well, I think I got everybody here. Let's see what's on tap for tomorrow. There we go. Okay. Tomorrow we're going back to Classic Universal, and we're going to talk about The Son of Frankenstein. This is the final Frankenstein movie that starred Boris Karloff. And it's really a tour de force for Bela Lugosi as well. And the fun thing about this film too is going to be comparing it to Young Frankenstein, Mel Brooks's hysterical comedy, because he skewers so many scenes in this movie. It's pretty. Sometimes I have a hard time watching Son of Frankenstein because I'm seeing the Mel Brooks version in my head. But it's a really good, solid film. It was after Universal. It was 1939, after Universal started making horror films again. And like I said, it was the last one that Karloff did as the Frankenstein monster. So it goes. It's got a place in history. Oh, Mary Nolan says, I did not get everybody. Well, good morning, Mary. Yes, Igor. Igor is the Bela Lugosi character in that film, and he's like I said, he steals it. He steals it. So there we have it, gang. Tomorrow, again at 9 o'clock, we will be discussing Son of Frankenstein. If you have not seen that, you have your homework assignment. Try and watch that today, because it's a good film. It's a really good film. It's going to be a fun one to talk about. So anyway, I shall see you tomorrow morning, and thanks for tuning in today. Have a great Saturday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.